This is an historic moment. We have in this past year made great progress in ending the long era of conflict and Cold War. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Nothing less than a new world order. This is the pledge of the world's most powerful leaders, representing 90% of the global economy. Thursday's G20 summit, they say, has changed the rules.
I'm still a fat ass, but in just 3 months taking this new product diet force,
and now's the time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it. And we've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it.
I'm still a fat ass, but in just 3 months taking this new product diet force, I've lost 39 pounds. Same amount of exercise, same amount of food I've been eating. This stuff really works. Natural, concentrated compounds that turn your metabolism way up. Diet Force is exclusively available at InfoWarsStore.com for 40% off, and it keeps the show on the air.
The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings.
President Bush signed a formal agreement that will end the United States as we know it. And he took the step without approval from either the U.S. Congress or the people of the United States.
The secret organizations of the world power elite are no longer secret.
It's known as the Bilderberg Group. Could their objective be world domination?
Declaring war on the New World Order. TruthRadioShow.com. Welcome everybody to this Monday, August 22nd, 2022 edition of the Nightly News right here on TruthRadioShow.com. I'm your host, Dan Bidondi. So what is going on, everybody? What's up, everybody in the chat room? We got Nicole, Mercy, Bill, RWG, P.O., Chris, Dolores, Jared. Who else is here? And everybody else I didn't mention. Thank you guys for joining us in the chat. Mercy on us. Thank you for joining us in the chat, Dolores. And good show for today, guys. We got going on. And so we got, thank you, ShakeandWakeRadio.com. Thank you guys for carrying the show. It's Annie over at ShakeandWakeRadio.com. Awesome alternative network, ShakeandWakeRadio.com. And also before it's news.com. It's alternative media as well. So I'm a contributor right for them. So guys, please check them out. So just a little discombobulated today. So it's a Monday. So I'm back to get rolling again. You know what I mean? So anyway, we got gun rights under siege again. I mean, I don't know how many times they're doing this. So we got gun rights under siege. Green climate police coming for you. Yeah, they're starting off in I think France or Italy, I forgot which one, but they're basically going to start assembling police forces to enforce the climate change crap. So get ready to eat bugs. We're going to talk about that again. I mean, it's sickening, really is. And that's what they're trying to literally shove down our throats. For you to eat bugs and we're not allowed to have meat no more, you know, if they have their way, you're not going to allow to eat beef. And if you do want beef, it's going to be synthetic, lab-grown beef. It's disgusting, whatever the case. Meanwhile, the elite will still be eating those nice juicy steaks and the lobsters and everything else, and you'll be stuck eating bugs and plants and all kinds of stuff that's made for animals. So anyway, let's get into this news here. Moment disabled man, 66-year-old is beaten to death with metal pole in Seattle. So we're going to start off with some crime. And this is sickening. By a serial criminal who judge freed on the felon charge 8 days earlier. So this is somebody that was freed a felony charge 8 days earlier, and you think he would learn his lesson. Sorry, all right, I got a break from the judge. I'm going to be a good boy. You know what I mean? Nope, not at all. So he goes and beats a 66-year-old disabled man. Distressing footage shows a disabled 66-year-old man beaten to death with a metal pole in Seattle, allegedly by a serial criminal. That means multiple times criminal. Cop says he has been freed by a local judge on a separate felony charge just 8 days earlier. And it's Aaron Falk, a 48-year-old guy, who's caught on video surveillance footage blundering 66-year-old Rodney Peterman. So, where's the video? All right, the video's on here somewhere. It was on here. Anyway, yeah. So, and it's a good thing anyway, because I get my temper going watching that. So, this car would end up beating a 66-year-old man to death with a pipe. Makeshift weapon in Washington City's notorious crime-ridden downtown. That's sickening. Really is. And they don't know what led up to it, whatever the case, but instead of using his fist, whatever, if it was a legit fight or not, he ended up grabbing a pole, some kind of metal pipe or whatever the case, and beat the 66-year-old to death. Like a criminal coward, you know what I mean, how they are a bunch of cowards, criminals, and they can never face anybody one-on-one, fist-to-fist. It's got to be either using weapons or a bunch of their boys onto one person. This is a common trend all the time, you know what I mean? And it was so much crime in the news today. It's crazy. I didn't put all of it up, just a couple of things that's going on, man. But it's sickening. It really is. And because in these cities that let criminals get away with the stuff. You know what I mean? You have New York, who has got the bail reform order. In other words, if you steal under $1,000, they let you go. And certain places, you know, whatever you do, I guess this depends what you do, they let you off. You know what I mean? As you can see, this criminal got off. And that was Seattle. And this one here is in New York City now. A New York Police Department suspect gropes a girl, 13 years old, punches father in the face in near Times Square. So you get these sex offender thugs running around New York, and they know they can get away with it. That's the thing. They know if they get caught, they're going to get a slap on the hand, and out they go. So police are searching for a wanted suspect who allegedly groped a 13-year-old girl and punched the father in the face near Times Square in middle Manhattan. So that's the scumbag right there. Oh, I wish I was there, man. And I see him running and be like, bing, knock him right out. Yeah. Scumbag, man. And when the father, 55-year-old, attempted to confront the suspect, he was punched in the face and received a lacerated injury. So he got a cut on his head. And he received medical treatment on a scene by the officials. And they released a photo of the thug there who groped a little girl, 13 years old. Thought he was, Mr. Get Bad, Mr. Cool. Oh, we're going to grow up a little girl. He's probably a child molester on top of it. And I hope he hears me, because I will come to Rhode Island and do something. That's tough to say. Come and try to do something. You're not going to get away with that crap, yeah. So, yeah, this ongoing investigation, and they're looking for this thug here in Times Square.
Roads of the world, it's not been a good look lately. Video captures the depraved, cowardly attack over the weekend, steps from Times Square when a mob of teens ruthlessly pounces on a 36-year-old man buying food at a street cart. Stabbed 3 times in the shoulder and back, he was punched, kicked, then robbed. His assailants fled into the heart of Times Square. Police are tracking down multiple suspects.
Keep it moving, and if you see something, just keep it moving. You can't really get involved with something bad.
Always look around and just be alert of your surroundings.
Also in Times Square this past weekend, police arrested this man, Jesse Armstrong, for allegedly killing a customer at Dave & Buster's. Police say an argument over a prize led Armstrong, who has a history of arrests, to stab the victim in the chest, then run off. The NYPD released data tonight showing murders have tripled in the precinct that encompasses Times Square, where grand larcenies have doubled, with significant jumps also in robberies and burglaries. This as felony assaults are down 30%.
Times Square is bad because no place else in New York City attracts a lot of the criminal element. Why? Because the money's there, the businesses are there, more civilians are there. It's target rich for the bad guy.
Law enforcement experts tell us the city is struggling to add police officers out onto the streets through means like taking them away from administrative duties. And they say the city knows it's in a race against time because traditionally the summer months is when crime goes up in the city. In Times Square, Arthur Chien, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, no kidding. So I thought that was a video on this guy assaulting the girl, but I guess more stuff took place in New York. And yeah, just seen it. All this violence in New York, it's typical on the weekend. Sickening, really is. And wait till you see what happened in Chicago this weekend. We're going to get to that toward the end of the show, all the gun stuff going on. So yeah, unreal, man. It really is. And this is a typical weekend in New York. And we hear them, they're struggling to put police on the streets. Well, because most of the police quit. They don't tell you that. They quit because if they do their job, they get fired or they get disciplined, and dare they defend themselves. You know what I mean? But however, there are a stretch of the police in New York too are a bunch of damn tyrants. You know what I mean? So it's a give or take in New York. You know, I mean, you can only support that thin blue line to an extent. You know what I mean? Because it becomes a then tyrannical line, you know what I mean? And because, again, a lot of the cops in New York are bad people, you know what I mean, plain and simple. But the good cops who do try to do their job, go after scumbags like these people, yeah, they get in trouble because the politicians let these people go. I guarantee if this guy got caught here, the one who grew up the 13-year-old, guarantee he's going to be, see you later, out in the street again, groping other people. They know they can get away with it. And those people got arrested for stabbing and all that, and more than likely they're going to be let go. Or the DA, the corrupt DA or the Attorney General won't press charges on them. They'll drop the knife charge. The weapons charge, they'll drop that. You know what I mean? But if you are a law-abiding citizen to try to defend yourself, they'll run it to the extent. You know what I mean? It's sickening, it really is. And you got 6-year-old girl shot in Chicago, making her the 8th child victim in the week. So at least the 8th girl and younger, 8th child younger than 16 to be shot this week. So 8 children under the 16 years old were shot in Chicago this week. And a 6-year-old girl was injured after being shot in Chicago's West Englewood neighborhood on Saturday. And at least 8 young children under 16 were to be shot in the city. And yeah, this is a normal weekend in Chicago. And we're going to take you to the statistics when we get back to the gun stuff toward the end of the show, because we got more statistics in Chicago. Bloody weekend again in Chicago. We're going to get back to that after the show. So switching gears here, you got Texas schools hanging in Gawi trust signs. So of course it's going to get all the atheist people, their panties up in a bunch. Ooh, how dare you hang that? Even though it's embedded everywhere in the country. I mean, yeah. And public schools used to teach the Bible for hundreds of years in this country, up into the 1980s. It depends where the country, which state it is. Up to the 1980s, 1990s, God was taught in school. Some places 1970s, whatever the case. But yeah, so schools across Texas are now hanging in Gawi trust after a new state law approved the display if they donated to campuses. So, yeah. And it was an independent school in northern Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth Metroplex began placing signs in public areas that were donated by Patriot Mobile, a Christian conservative wireless provider. So during the presentation, the board receives a signature donation pursuant to Senate Bill 797 by Patriot Mobile LLC. That's pretty cool. So yeah, they make the donation, say, hey, we're gonna hang this in this. God bless Texas. Texas is still pretty good on God, you know what I mean? Except for Dallas. I mean, you get the liberal cities, of course, will put up a bitch fit about it. But yeah, that's awesome. And of course, you're going to get all the atheist groups, panties in a bunch. And I guarantee, places like the Church of Satan, the Satanic Temple, they're going to be like, oh, we got a right to put our stuff in the schools. No, you don't, okay? And if people say, well, doesn't the First Amendment protecting the Church of Satan and the Satanic Temple? No. And there's a reason why for that. People got to understand, okay? It's freedom of religion. The Satanic Temple, regardless what they say, it's not a religion. The Church of Satan is not a religion. It's a cult. Cults were outlawed in this country. They were outlawed in Britain, okay, for hundreds of years, okay? And First Amendment, even after the First Amendment was there, things like Satanism, witchcraft was still outlawed in this country. It wasn't accepted until like probably the 1980s or so when these organizations started popping around, you know what I mean? And in 1966 was the Church of Satan by Anton LaVey, and you also had the spring up of Gardenian magic, which is Wicca, you know what I mean? And that's when they put on a false public perception with good people to make it look like, oh, we're not bad people no more. And I'm not saying, the people who do these things are bad. Most of them are good people, but they're just lied to and hoodwinked. And they create a false public perception, which conceals the real stuff that goes on that not even they know. So the people in the initial levels, they have no idea what goes on in the levels. It was the same thing that Freemasonry did to hide the Illuminati. In the Council of Wilhelmsbad in 1789, I believe, or 1785, when they all met in the Congress of Wilhelmsbad in Germany to basically, they created the society called Freemasonry, and it was made to conceal the Illuminati, the Jacobins, the Knights Templar, and all the sinister organizations that went underground years before that. And they were hunted down and everything else. So what they did is they created Freemasonry. Everybody knew who Freemasonry was. It was public, okay? So, and even Freemasons have no idea. Most of them have no idea the inner circle. That's how the occult works. Well, Wicca and the Church of Satan. It's a group of people that are more into either nature or science than actual Satan. You know what I mean? But what it does is it conceals the inner circle that not even they know about that inner circle. It conceals to what they really do behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. So, yeah, but God bless Texas. So California church that gives cannabis and psychedelic mushrooms as a common communion, sues over police raid. So, yeah, I guess I try to use the First Amendment on this. We have a church here in Rhode Island. Ann Armstrong and her church. It's called the Cannabis Church in Rhode Island. They've been raided several times. So we had her on the show years ago. But regardless, okay, and they claim that these things that they try to claim that they're in the Bible, they're not. Well, they'll say, oh, they're natural. No. Well, poison ivy is natural too, right? Could you smoke poison ivy? Could you rub it all over your skin? No. Poison sumac, that's natural. Could you do the same thing? No. It's not. Doesn't mean it's meant to be smoked or something. There's properties for it, yes. That'd be help, like the oil and all that. Whatever the case. But, yeah, so cannabis and psychedelic mushrooms are communion, sues over police raid. So it's East Oakland Church that gives cannabis and psychedelic plants as a sacrament filed a civil rights lawsuit against the Oakland and Oakland Police Department over a 2020 raid. And the Zydor Church is called of entheogenic plants. An assembly of Church of Ambrosia filed a lawsuit Friday alleging that the city police department and the police officer violated its First and Fourth Amendment rights. And the city's land use code prohibits group from conducting religious ceremonies or sacraments involving psychedelics and cannabis inside its church. Well, much as I don't agree with what they're doing, but yeah, unless they had a warrant, which they probably didn't, whatever. I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, it's kind of, here's the thing, too. I don't do that stuff, and I highly don't condone this stuff, okay? However, so they violated the 14th Amendment and also First Amendment, whatever the case. So, whatever the case, I don't know. So the lawsuit originates from an incident in which Oakland police raided the Zydor Church over allegations of the church was operating as a dispensary. So they thought the church was selling it to people and actually dealing it and using the church as a decoy. And which, that could be the case. That could be the case. Because these drug dealers, they'll go through any lengths to sell stuff. They'll say, oh, no, it's a religious practice. And meanwhile, they're making money under the cover to say, oh, just come to church and buy our stuff. That could be the case still. You know what I mean? But, here's the thing, too. It's like, how do you question somebody's religious practice, too? You know what I mean? Even though this is not biblically condoned. I mean, you can look in the Bible. You won't find anywhere in the Bible that psychedelics is condoned by God. And, in fact, it's the opposite way around. And the incense they used was frankincense and myrrh, not cannabis. And the oils they used was olive oil, not any of this stuff. Being on the psychotropic control like that, this or like how do you say this here? Oh man, displacing your consciousness. Okay, it was strictly forbidden by God. You know what I mean? And it still is. You know what I mean? Because it opens the pineal gland, the third eye they call it, into the spirit world, whatever the case. And that's why psychedelics are highly encouraged in all the occult, witchcraft, and everything else, because it helps them achieve the spiritual enlightenment, which is nothing enlightenment at all about it. You know what I mean? So, and the New Age, they do the same thing. And so the Bible strictly condemns it for a reason, because the Bible says to have a strong and sober mind. A sound mind, So that's what that's about. And so, yeah, well, who knows? I mean, it could be a cover for a drug deal operation. What do you guys think in the chat room, by the way? I don't know. Who knows? But check this out. Dead batteries, electric vehicle owners complain of broken chargers, awkward software. So here we go with the problems with the electric cars. You know what I mean? Electric vehicle owners are becoming increasingly frustrated about the state of public EV. So if you see EV, it's electric vehicle. Charging, with the drivers complaining of broken chargers, janky software, and smashed screens. So you pull up to a pump. Well, it's not a pump. It's electric. Yeah, some of the screens are smashed. The chargers are broke. Yeah. And you know what I mean? It's like iPad. You know what I mean? The chargers break after a while, whatever the case. And these are just many, some of the many problems you could be running into with these electric junks. That's what they are. Some cities, as we reported, people waiting hours in line to get a charge. And they say, oh, it's cheaper than gas and all that stuff. Better for the atmosphere, is it? Is it really better for the planet? Because the electricity you need to produce to charge these things, yeah, you're causing more harm to the planet than gas. So is it really going green? The only people going green is the people who sell it because they're making a lot of money off your stupidity. You know what I mean? And they say, oh, these electric cars, they're awesome. They're not awesome. And these things are junk. They're catching fire everywhere. And these are serious fires. You know what I mean? And you would think a gasoline vehicle would have a worse fire than these. Not these. These things literally melt and everything else from the electrical charges. We show you videos on this stuff. And again, some cities, people waiting hours in line to get a charge. And sometimes, like the amount of time it takes to charge the car, it's worth paying for gas. You know what I mean? Because if you're on a trip, you got to sit there and wait. You sit there and wait for the car to charge up. It's like plugging an iPad at every truck stop. You know what I mean? It's unreal. That's what it is, really. If you're driving a giant iPad, that's what you're doing. That's all you're doing is you're driving a giant electric device. Because when you get into the cars, they got all these, it's like touch screens everywhere. You know what I mean? How about just putting the key in, starting the car up, and going? Instead of playing with all these buttons and all this beep, 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 like it's like programming something. Instead of just getting in the car and go. And plus, here's the thing up here in northern United States here, when it snows, the winters are bad. These cars don't heat up. Most cars, well, you wait for them to heat up to produce heat. And the cars do produce heat, but the thing is, they don't heat up. So try to get the ice off your car. And these cars are going to end up freezing up and everything else, which they have been doing in the winter. They don't heat up at all. So you get all kinds of problems. You got to be running into this. And, I'm not saying electric cars wouldn't be it's a good idea, okay? But the thing is, they're pushing it way too fast. They haven't worked out all the kinks and bugs yet. And here's the thing, too. Why do you have to go to a charger? That's the other thing. What will happen to renewable energy? If these cars were made with renewable energy, you just get in the car and just keep going. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. But they know they're going to run into these problems. Here's the other thing they're pushing these cars too, because when they take control, literally, of all the transportation, they're going to shut your car off. Because they're all connected to satellites and everything else from the GPS. Yeah, they're going to shut your car down. That's what these things are for. And try replacing the battery in these things. Batteries go out, these lithium batteries, man, you're paying thousands of dollars. One woman in Florida, $14,000 for a battery for the car. Worth more than a car. I think she paid $11,000, and the batteries went, and $14,000. There's a lot of problems with these cars, man. And here's the thing, too, again, with them. Why do you have to charge them? Why can't put some solar panels on the roof? Or one guy, what he did was he hooked the alternator up to the car. So basically, when the car ran, the alternator kept just battery charging. That's a genius idea. Why don't they make the cars like that? Have the alternators within the car. So basically, every time the tires roll, turns the alternator, and constantly feeding back to the battery. Why don't they do that? So you could basically get in the car and just go, unless you had to pee, go from here to California and without stopping. That'd be a good idea, but that's not what they're doing. They want you to wait in lines like that, and it's just ridiculous. It really is. So the Great Reset, French government to recruit 3,000 green police over climate change. So the senior minister in France has demanded that the country create a 3,000 green police post in the face of global warming. So it sounds like the 87,000 IRS agents they're creating here, well, army of IRS agents, to go after you, the middle class, because you forgot to claim something on your taxes. So as Gerald Darmanin, who serves as Minister of Interior, has announced that he aims to create 3,000 posts for new green police officials, a move that has deemed necessary to face the tackle of climate change. So what do they got to do with them? Wait, Mr. Smith or Scotty in the chat room here, we're going to come to your house, or Himalaya, or Valerie in the chat, or Marky Mark, whoever. We're going to come to your house, yeah, because you use too much toilet paper. Oh, wait a minute. Looks like Max, she flushed the toilet too much because she's got a lot of kids, you know what I mean? So she flushed the toilet a little, 3 times more than the cutoff, you know what I mean? And because these climate things got a set limits, how much power you can use, how many times you can flush the toilet. They've worked on this years ago. That's where they're going with this, okay? And yeah, look at Valerie. She's using a little too much electricity, and she went over her quota. So we're gonna send armed people to your house and force the climate change. Sounds funny, but that's what they're doing. So news of potential creation of these new posts in France follows calls from European Union bigwigs for the creation of a block-wide civil protection force to fight the effects of climate change under the control of Brussels, a move slammed by some of the attempt by bureaucrats to board even more power. So a civil protection force. And over here it says, any excuse to grab more money. The European Union wants a centralized civil protection force to fight climate change. Yeah. Create an army to go after you. Because God forbid you flush the toilet a couple more times than you're supposed to. Yeah. Bunch of these idiots coming down the street with guns. Oh, yeah. Jen didn't shut her lights off last night because the kid was afraid and he put the light on in the bedroom and the mother didn't know. So, yeah, look at the meter. Oh, she went 4 hours over her curfew. So I would have come in there and put guns in your face. This is the tyranny these people face, and this is going to start in France. And they've already called for stuff like this here in the United States. And in fact, if you haven't noticed, the 87,000 IRS agents they're hiring all got to be armed to come to your house because you forgot to cross your T's and dot your I's and lowercase J's. Crazy, huh? So Amish farmer under threat from feds for refusing to abandon traditional farming practices. So now they're going after the Amish. And a family who goes out to Pennsylvania to buy food from them frequently. You know what I mean? They'll take a ride up to Pennsylvania and go to the Amish farms, which you could do. It's awesome. You know what I mean? They make some good stuff. You know what I mean? All organic and non-GMO. They make their own stuff. So you can get some real good food from them. And they're going after these people now. It's insane. It really is. A Pennsylvania Amish family farm in Pennsylvania is under attack by the lawless federal government, while owners claim to be preparing for food the way God intended. The tyrants of the U.S. government don't see it that way, and why would they? They have become a beast, you know what I mean? And according to the petition that has been set up by Miller's Organic Farm, so it's a holistic Amish farm in Pennsylvania is being persecuted by the government for exercising the religious freedom to grow food as per his religious beliefs. And Miller, who grows and prepares food naturally, claims he has been able to curb the federal farming regulations by telling food privately to members selling his food privately to members of the farm food club. So earlier this year, the armed feds came to a farm, because I guess the crops were a threat to them. So they sent armed feds, paid a visit to Miller's farm for allegedly not cooperating with the government, and he's now facing a $300,000 fines and potential jail time. All for what? Selling good food? And the farm supplies everything from grass-fed beef and cheese to raw milk and organic eggs to dairy, good stuff, you know what I mean? And it's roughly about 4,000 private food club members who pay top dollar for high-quality food. Well, anyway, the U.S. Department of Agriculture came through with armed guards and say, "Oh, you can't be doing that." So Amish Miller, the farm owner, contends that he's preparing food the way God intended. But the U.S. government doesn't see it that way, and so they sent armed troops because, again, I think these crops must be a danger to them. So a person who farms all day and night, right, I guess they pose a major threat to them. So the USDA sends armed guards to harass them and threaten them with jail time and a $300,000 fine if they don't cooperate with their regulations. Now, mind you, these Amish people have been farming for generations, and they are protected under the First Amendment under religious rights. But again, since they've been the government's been putting their foot down, getting rid of farms everywhere. Bill Gates is buying up all the land, and they're pushing all these GMO crops and everything else. Yeah, and they don't want you to eat natural stuff. And it reminds me of a bill years ago. Senator John McCain. He ran for president. He's dead now, but he tried to push a bill years ago. I think it was 2011. It was called S for Senate Bill 510. It was Codex Lumitatis. That was the name of the bill. To regulate farming. In other words, if you want to grow your own garden and grow some vegetables, tomatoes, or whatever the case, you wouldn't be able to do that. The bill failed, thank God, but and that was Senator John McCain doing that. You know what I mean? And the guy was a globalist, so, you know what I mean? So, people quickly forget about his. The guy was a coward, a tyrant, and everything else. So they've been working on this for years, guys, to go after local farmers. And if you have your own garden, they're going to have a problem with that. And that's what they got to do. That's why all the farms are shutting down everywhere else. And they're going to push green police here in the United States, too. And if actually they already got them, called the USDA and the FDA. Come harass an Amish person who's had farm for generations. Come harass them. You got a $300,000 fine now, or you're going to face jail time. Yeah, for selling food to local people. So they're going to attack everybody, guys. And then they're going to come again. It's going to get down to the point where you grow your own food in your yard. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, what are you doing? Oh, wait a minute. You're giving eggs away for your neighbors? You're selling eggs? Oh, we can't have that. So we're going to come and give you heavy fines and all that. Or, have you euthanize your chickens or whatever the case. That's where it's going to come to if people don't step up and do something. And I hope these Amish people stand up. And, they're very smart people, too. So he's fighting back against the government, but, this is ridiculous. And people need to get out. I mean, if you're in Pennsylvania, get out there and support these people. So the feds want him to abandon traditional farming practices. So he should turn around to the feds, go pound sand. You don't have a right to tell me what to do. And again, they sent armed troops to this guy's farm. This is where the Second Amendment should apply here. It really should. It doesn't matter if you're federal or not. Federal troops come to you pointing guns at you, you point guns right back at them. If they have 30 troops, you have 60 people pointing guns right back at them. Tell them, get the hell off my land. You have no authorization to be here. Screw. And you want to fight? Oh, you're going to get one. And that's where, because the Second Amendment is not limited to just criminals. It's actually made to stop, stand up against the government if they become tyrannical. That's the number one reason for the Second Amendment. Yeah, I mean, people need to defend themselves. Doesn't matter. Like the Bundy ranch they did. You know, the Bundy stood up against the ATF, the Bureau of the Land. I forgot what they were. One of the federal agencies anyway. They stood up because the cows were grazing off the field like they did for generations, and the feds come in to try to stop that. Completely outstepping their authority, and that's what they're doing here. And the Amish, I know they don't really like to get violent, but man, they need to take up arms and defend themselves. And tell them, go pound sand, you're not taking nothing. You know what I mean? This is their right to do that. And again, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, sends armed troops to this Amish farm. Unreal, man. So you got near total crop losses ravages U.S. agriculture. So South Carolina farms sounding alarm on tragic harvest season. And I think they're referring to the droughts going on. Farms in the southeast United States are suffering from crop failures that are ravaging agriculture productivity in one of the most traditional fertile areas of the nation, beginning with unexpected spring freeze following a near chillier than expected May, and uncopied drought, utterly massive crops failures of peaches, watermelons, and blueberries have devastated local growers, trickling down to the economy and restaurants and such. So yeah, they're having, because May, we had ice all over the United States. It was like actually snowing in May in some places. It's supposed to be May flowers, you know what I mean? April showers, May flowers. Yeah, nothing like that. So we actually had snow, which stumped the crops from growing. And then when they were growing, they had droughts and everything else. So this is even down in South Carolina, you know what I mean? In the middle of March, temperatures in South Carolina plunged to a frigid 19 degrees in some areas, which is kind of low for South Carolina. You notice that time of year, though, when the climate activists be like, shh, don't say nothing, when the record low temperatures, right? And they'll wait till when it normally rises up in the summer, they'll, oh, look, this is climate change. Because, there's nothing odd. It's really odd to have temperatures 100 degrees in August, right? Yeah, we've all experienced that growing up. That's normal. In some places, they're flooding the place. Some places are droughts. And it's all because of geoengineering. That's what it's from. Granted, some of the stuff is legit, but whatever the case. So, protein that crawls. 11 startup types to get us to eat bugs. So from cricket flour-based chips to cookies and mealworm and fruit fly larvae-based foods, these startups are on a mission to take insect and eat into the mainstream. You hear that? Fruit fly larvae-based foods. So you ever seen fruit flies in there if you leave the fruit out sometime? Yeah, imagine just eating a big scoop of those. And this goes to a huge guide of a bunch of companies that are selling the stuff. Look at this stuff. The original cricket bar. So you can eat cricket protein bars. This one is a cricket flour. Whatever this is. Barbecue savory meal bar. So this is a barbecue bar. It's made from cricket flour. How do you get cricket flour? What do you freeze dry them? How does that work? Look at this, roasted crickets. This one here is chips that are chips made with cricket flour. Well, I could only imagine. Crook nutrition, so, ugh. That's sick, man. Imagine trying to swallow that down. Protein powders made of crickets and plant materials that could be mixed with water for post-workout shake. So imagine drinking liquid crickets right there. That's nasty, man. And Asper Food Group says world experiencing rapid urbanization, population growth, shrinkage, and urban land. It's time to scale the disruptive business with realistic roadmap of unparalleled global mission. And yeah, cricket wheat. Another cocoa chai. Cookie crisp. So these cookies are made out of what? Yeah. Some bug, I guess. I don't know, man. That's crazy, man. fruit fly products. So yeah, whole powder, low fat powder, and dry larvae. So you take your choice. You get a bunch of fruit flies, right? And they'll make it whole powder. They'll make the fruit flies into powder, or low fat powder, or a dry larvae, or turn into an oil. So yeah, take your choice. There's 4 different ways you can eat the fruit flies. And Living Farm, whatever the heck this is, yeah, $649. You get comes with beetle propay. What the hell is this? Mealworm cookbook, and yeah. So whatever the heck this thing does, I guess it harvests some kind of insects, and you could actually, yeah, turn into food. What the heck? That whatever. That's crazy. Cricket bitters. So some kind of liquid here. This is stupid, man. It really is. So how do you all feel about eating bugs? Yeah, Grubhub. Desi Reynolds says, "Oh, what about Grubhub? Oh, yeah, excuse me, call Grubhub. Yeah, I'll take some of those chocolate crickets, and you know what? Give me some of those caviar roaches. You know, eat the roach eggs. Ugh, man, imagine that. They call it caviar and eat the roach eggs, and yeah, you can't make the stuff up, man. And you give me some delicacy food. I'll take a dozen of spider eggs too. How's that sound?" This is crazy, man. Really is. So we're going to go to the quote of the day, brought to you by MidstateGuns.com. It's located in Coventry, Rhode Island. Rhode Island's largest indoor shooting range, MidstateGuns.com. And Thomas Jefferson says, the strongest reason for the people to retain the right to keep and bear arms is as a last resort to protect themselves against tyranny and the government. So just a little hint to the people, the Amish people in Pennsylvania. Yeah. Keep that in mind. And Edmund Burke says the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. In today's world, it's for good men and women to do nothing. So as long as you're doing nothing, that's how evil's winning, and you're part of the problem. So if you don't stand up to evil, evil's got to win, plain and simple. God didn't put us here to be, walking mats. You know what I mean? To say, oh, we're just going to sit there and pray all day. And yeah, pray, absolutely, yes. But he doesn't mean for you to sit there and do nothing. You know what I mean? God's people always fought against evil. They stood up and fought with force if they had to. And why ain't people doing that today? I have no idea. They're just letting these globalists just walk all over us. Small group of cockroaches, too. No pun intended. You know what I mean? That's disgusting. So there are no other rights if you can't defend them. Remember that. So the day they take your gun rights away, guys, kiss all the rest goodbye. Just ask every country that disarmed the public. I mean, look at in the UK, you have people speaking out against the government. They get arrested for it. Then you got the anti-gun groups. Oh, they don't lose no rights. Oh, yeah, you're right. Because they speak out against the government, they get arrested. Or fined or whatever the case. At all, kid put something on Facebook, and all of a sudden the police kick his door in because he spoke out on Facebook. Not threatening nobody. That's what's going on in these countries. Yeah, give up your gun rights, that's what happens. And the United States, yeah, you give up your gun rights, it's over. Plain and simple. It is over, plain and simple. And I can't say that enough. So anyway, going to go to a break here, and also it's called... hope I put that one in. Yeah, so we are on the verge of a new world order currency. I think this is a video. Anyway, whatever the case, I messed up because during the introduction, I tried to load the video up ahead of time. Whatever, I don't think I did that right. But anyway, we're going to go to a break. We'll be right back. It's Monday.
I don't claim to be Mr. America when it comes to my physique. I've been overweight for a long time because of stress, overwork, you name it. But I've lost almost 40 pounds in 3 months with the samples we've got. And this new product is finally available.
If you're receiving this transmission,
that's 39 pounds
you
in 3 months.
the resistance.
Diet Force. It's all natural. It really works.
On the
it's
New World
exclusively
Order.
available at
TruthRadioShow.com.
InfoWarsStore.com for 40% off. Check out Diet Force at InfoWarsStore.com.
Recently, the central bank digital currencies have been the talking point at the global confabs because they lead to the creation of a global currency system.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the session on resetting digital currencies. The theme of this year's forum, as you know, is a crucial year to rebuild trust.
A digital payment system can help reduce these logistical costs, can help remove, the dangers of holding cash.
As the architects of multiple global crises pour on the tyranny, the IMF is enjoying an elevated position as the problem solver most nations turn to for help, racketeering on a global scale.
With all the current issues on our agenda, we tend to forget that we are in the midst of the fourth industrial revolution, which accelerates global change in much more comprehensive and faster ways than the previous three revolutions. The objective is to quickly recognize the potential of new technologies. History is truly at a turning point. We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected.
And as Bloomberg gleefully reported, key Democratic congressional allies are urging President Joe Biden's administration to support a new injection of resources for countries at the IMF to help them deal with the fallout from Russia's invasion of Ukraine, to the tune of at least $650 billion in additional IMF reserve assets. The demand is being led by Representative Pramila Jayapal and Senator Elizabeth Warren. Zero Hedge recently put the puzzle pieces together concerning the Democrats' proposed $650 billion flooding of the IMF with special drawing right funds. What are special drawing right funds?
The Special Drawing Right, or SDR, was created by the IMF in 1969 to supplement the official reserves of its member countries. The SDR is an interest-bearing international reserve asset that can only be held by the IMF, its member countries, and designated official entities known as prescribed holders. In addition to this role, the SDR serves as the unit of account of the IMF and several other international organizations.
Zero Hedge writes, each new crisis brings global banks closer to their goal. The introduction of national digital currencies and the SDR basket become the de facto reserve trading tool for the world. Why do Democrats specifically want aid denominated in SDRs? Because funding allocations in the U.S. have already hit their maximum, and new funding bills are being defeated in the Senate. At the IMF, there are no checks and balances. They can ask for almost any amount of money in the form of SDRs without oversight. There are always strings attached when it comes to the IMF, and in exchange for SDRs, the globalists will certainly want more centralized control. The Ukrainian war is not merely a money laundering operation. It is a linchpin to transfer the global economy out of the money printing of central banks and directly into the hands of globalists controlling the IMF. We are being looted in real time of our property, currency, sovereignty, and our very lives. John Bound reporting.
If this is true, then our country is in a lot of trouble.
We would have these trips, these special trips.
But he said, my daddy takes the bodies to the
grocery store and he grinds them up and puts it in the hamburger. And nobody ever knows it.
How can kids 6, 8, 10 years old be describing rituals that come from a book like the Book of the Dead? It's hard to get your mind around people being capable of this kind of evil.
This is Dan Bidondi of TruthRadioShow.com. I am honored to offer my listeners a 1-month free subscription to nystv.org. Subscribers will have access to thousands of NYST TV videos from spiritual warfare to biblical and occultic topics, banned from YouTube videos, and much more. Subscribe today on nystv.org and use the promo code DANTheMan and receive your first month free. And welcome back, guys. So, yeah, crazy stuff, man. And that's what they're doing. They're pushing the digital currency. We've been talking about it for a while, for years. I mean, even before people even knew what Bitcoin was, I mean, we've been exposing stuff for years, man. Way back, I think it was back in 2009 when I first started radio. We've been exposing the digital currency, digital ID they're setting up, and which is, components, I can't even talk today, guys. It's Monday. It's just been a nice, relaxing weekend for the most part, except for a lot of walking, whatever the case. But it was an exhausting Saturday, running around the water park all day, with my son. But yeah, other than that, the weekends are just, sometimes you just get too relaxed. So when you come back on Monday, you're like, ugh, just dragged out, So yeah. So they've been pushing digital currency for a while, these people, and that's the, many components being set up to the eventual mark of the beast. That, once again, I have to say this all the time, because the mark of the beast will be pushed by the Antichrist. Nobody else, okay? And again, so many people still think that, is the mark of the beast. It's not, It's already proven that's not, plain and simple, And it's pushed by the Antichrist, not Dr. Fauci or anybody else, all right? Plain and simple. Oh, thank you, Valerie, too, for joining us in the chat room. She's our chat room moderator. She's the general, so she don't usually censor people, but when they do, I guess it's for a reason. So we try to be very lenient in the chat room. If you want to disagree with me, go for it. Just try to be respectful to people. That's all. We're not going to censor you for disagreeing with me. And just be respectful. That's all. And if you stop, trolling, if you could tell a troll, we support free speech, but when you start trolling, that's the people like that are just there to start trouble, So those are the people who you end up kicking out, whatever, or somebody's just being a jerk, But anyway, back to this news here. And so you got Illinois, Chicago here. Illinois City Council votes 8-1 to ban the sale of assault rifles within city limits. So the city here votes 8-1, and it's Naperville, will prohibit the sale of assault rifles in the city effective January 1st. And after listening to 4 hours of passionate pleas from more than 100 speakers, and I'm sure most of the speakers were pro-gun, I'm almost sure of that the Naperville City Council voted 8-1 in the early morning, Wednesday hours, to amend the city code to prohibit the sale of weapons similar to those used in recent mass shootings, blah, blah, blah. And of course, they exploit Uvalde, Texas, and Buffalo, and everything else. Yep. So many opponents propose change, urge the council to instead, put more money toward the mental health services and school security. So it said, they basically said, why are you banning guns? Those are some gun rights supporters right there. So they're asking the city council, why you want to ban the sale of guns here? Well, why don't we just put more money allocation into schools to the schools where resource officers and such? That would prevent school shootings. Address mental health. That would prevent school shootings. But no, let's just ban so basically any gun store in the city limits is going to be shut down, and I don't know how that's going to work. Maybe they're grandfathered in, but they're not going to be able to sell assault rifles in, which is no such thing, by the way, assault rifles in the city limits of Naperville. So 8-1. The thing is, they had an agenda. Say they listened to over 100 people for 4 hours, whatever. But if they voted 8-1, there was an agenda behind that. They had no. The thing is, and I'm almost positive because this is the way it goes everywhere. You know what I mean? Even the most liberal states, the most people show up for gun rights. I go to a lot of these things. Trust me when I tell you. And most people are for gun rights. But the thing is, these city councilmen had, they had no concerns what the people had to say. None at all. They were there for a reason. They just sat there like this, listen to all the testimony, and they already knew what they were going to vote on. So this is where the people in Naperville need to speak out and say, listen, no, you want to do that, we're voting you out, plain and simple. And there was Deerfield, Illinois, who did the same thing years ago. So this might be overturned because Deerfield, Illinois did the same thing. They banned the sales of assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. The court stepped in and said, no, you can't do that. It's unconstitutional. So I think we're going to see that in the news, and I hope we do. It's the same state. In the news, or they can use that case law from Deerfield to say, no, you can't do that. It's unconstitutional. Regardless of the 8-1 vote, it's unconstitutional. You can't do that. It's a violation of the Second Amendment. How do you ban something that you determine? There's no official definition of assault rifle. What is an assault rifle? Who gets to determine that AR-15 or whatever the case is, assault rifle? Who gets to determine that? There's no official definition. So this is arbitrary. And I'm sure, and I hope to see the courts are going to say, no, too bad, you're not banning nothing. I hope to see that soon. So Chicago shootings, 6-year-old girl among 37 shot. We just talked about it earlier. 6-year-old girl was shot, and 37 other people, and 4 people died in the weekend of violence, police say. So this is a typical weekend in the Chicago. 6-year-old girl among 37 other people who've been shot. 4 people died. And more than a quarter of victims were wounded in mass shootings that wounded 5 people in Washington Park and South Side and East Garfield. So you'd think, right? 37 people shot. So you turn on the news, like you see a school, 20 people shot, or a nightclub, 15 people shot, whatever the case, and mass shooting, right? In nationwide news, this doesn't get nothing. The local news will pick it up, as you see here. You'd think 37 people shot in one weekend. Yeah, you would think this would be national news, right? You know why it's not? Because this goes against the whole agenda. Because Chicago prides itself on one of the strictest gun controls in the country, them in D.C. So basically, if the mainstream media was to let this out, wait a minute, hold on. I thought you said gun control works because Chicago's got the strictest gun control in the country just about. But yeah, gun control works. Does it? Does it really? And that's why, and we know it doesn't, you know what I mean? And this is the stats here. This is up to date. It's the 22nd today. This is HeyJackass.com. It illustrates Chicago's values of how many people shot and everything else, wounded and killed. And yeah, this is crazy, man. So far in the month of August, right? So far, this is the month of August. So it's 22 days in the month of August, right? Today's the 22nd day, right? 40 people were shot and killed in Chicago. 246 people wounded. 286 people total shot and 47 homicides. So you would think, again, mass shooting, like 15 people died or 20-something people died, right? 22 days, okay? And the night's not even over yet, you know what I mean? It's still Monday, yeah? So 21 days technically, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. 21 days, 286 people shot in Chicago. Does that, not jar people's heads, okay? And if you're out there, you support gun control, right? Does this not jar your head? For a citizen to get a gun in Chicago, it's like pulling teeth. You got to get special permit. You got to go through hoops and then some. Even then, you're heavily restricted. But yet, criminals are just running around with guns all they want. They don't get permits. They don't go through procedures and nothing. No, they're running around with guns, legal guns and everything else. So 286 people shot in 21 days. And yeah, but yet we'll have national news because 12 people killed at a Walmart. Right? 12 people killed it, which is tragic. But yeah, look, 37 people shot this weekend alone. Not a peep on MSN. Not a peep on CNN, nothing like that, yeah. So anyway, ATF shows up at people's house. Oh, let me go back to here quick. And year to date, this is crazy. It's like, it's worse than, you know what I mean? Here's the thing. This many people didn't get shot in a year time in I think the Iraq War. 411 people killed from August 21st, 22nd, 2001 to now. 411 people killed just in Chicago. A total of 2,325 people were shot in 1 year in Chicago. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Gun control works. Yeah. Not. So ATF they shows up at people's homes to confiscate rare breed of FTR-15 triggers. Yeah, so instead of going after the criminals in Chicago, the gangbangers and everything, shooting up innocent kids and everything else, and the police don't even have a clue or even a chance in hell of fighting back. They're understaffed. They've been, Chicago is big on defunding the police. Supporting criminals, yeah. So, gangbangers just running away. Corrupt district attorneys over there in Chicago, and the attorney general, dismisses most of the gun charges on people, yeah. So instead of the ATF showing up to go in there and stop these gangbangers with illegal guns, right? They'll go after you. Because a new report from a gun blog website, AmmoLand Shooting Sports News, claims that the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, the ATF, have shown up at homes of multiple people to confiscate previously legal force reset triggers for AR-15 style rifles that were recently classified as machine guns. So they're showing up to these are law-abiding citizens, legal guns, right? They're showing up to people's homes to have these triggers, right? Yeah, you need to turn them over. And they're showing up with armed forces. Oh, you got a trigger on your thing? Oh, yeah. But where are you, same retards of the ATF? Where are you in Chicago and stuff like that, going after gangbangers where you should be going after people? But no, let's show up at law-abiding citizens' homes because they got a certain trigger that you don't like. And here's the thing, too. It's none of your damn business. If someone wants to have a certain trigger on a gun, you don't get to determine that. That's what people don't understand. The ATF doesn't get to make the rules like that. It's an infringement on the Second Amendment. That's what it is. ATF, mind your business, plain and simple. They'll own what they want when they want, plain and simple. So according to the reports, unknown how the ATF acquired the customer's information. Do the owners in question acquired that triggers via Gunbroker, a rare breed gun triggers website. So Gunbroker is a website you can buy stuff on. So yeah, so this shows right here. How would they know you have this? Because when you buy the gun, it doesn't come factory with it. So you go out and buy the special stuff to get this. Okay, so how would they know you have this? Say, and they show up to your door. How would they know that? Well, government intrusion. And I hope these people fight this in court because I'm sure they got the information illegally. Which would get this the whole case dismissed if you were charged or something. You know what I mean? I think they're just confiscating and stuff. But this is what the rare breed triggers are FTR animation. So I guess they say, and it turns into like an automatic or something. And it is possible ATF receives the customer's information from credit card processors and shipping companies. AmmoLand said adding the federal agency had received customer information from authorized.net and stamps.com to track people who've bought 80% lowers from gun part kits manufacturers Palomady. So, a person named Paul Britton Finch is allegedly one of those gun owners who got a knock at the door from the ATF agents. Let's see if there's So the ATF says, I got a visit today from the guy, ATF, for a trigger I bought from Gunbroker and one rare breed directly. Hide your dogs, ladies and gentlemen. They're coming and knocking, and Finch said in the post appears to be a gun for him. So he said, and tell people, be careful what you buy online. So how would they receive these websites? How are they allowed to give out customer information like that? That should be private, you know what I mean? And this is unreal here. So, let me put this in the chat room here. So Tactical Billy, I know you buy a lot of stuff from there, so be careful, man. I put the link in the chat room, so guys, just keep your eye open, that's all. But the thing, this should be illegal. How are they obtaining your information of what you're buying? And ATF also launches anonymous gun crime reporting app. So on Friday, the ATF announced a new app, a phone app, that will allow users to make anonymous tips about crimes involving firearms, explosives, and arson. So the ATF tweeted, the Bureau is working with a report. It's a mobile app that uses AI-inspired technology to help prevent accidents before they occur. And from the company's website, the ATF app gives a user a simple way to anonymously and confidentially submit tips about crimes. So basically, if you have people in Chicago submitting a tip on a phone app, it's a gang next door, waving guns around outside. Ignore it, right? A person legally bought a gun, and I think they have a lower that's not registered. An upper, I mean, and then they're kicking the door in. And so they're partnering with a group called Report It, okay? Basically a snitch group, to provide simple use of mobile app, allowing users to anonymously and confidentially submit tips about crimes that happen in the community involving firearms, explosives, arson, and violent crime. And that's the Snoop app. So that's So more like the Orwell 1984 snitch on your neighbor and violate their Second Amendment rights app. Screw the ATF. Boom. That's crazy, man. That's the app right there. Report it. An app is free and easy, anonymous way to provide tips to the ATF. So could you only imagine the Karens out there? I don't have my phone on me. It's in the car. But yeah, like, Jimmy Dean, he's out in the back there cleaning his rifle on his picnic bench, which is his right to do that. He's out there cleaning his rifle. I walked by the Smith's house, and I looked in the window, because I'm a nosy pervert. I looked in the window, and there was Mr. Smith over there cleaning his gun. Oh, my God. You know what I mean? That's how these people are. And I'll report it. Oh, he was cleaning his gun in his house, which he has a right to do. And the ATF will still go there and harass the people. Unbelievable. It really is. It's so dumb. How about this? ATF, here's the thing. Let me put this here, too. So ATF, here is a clue. Mind your own damn business. So, you don't get to decide what we can and can't have. Piss off R2A. Not asking you. We're telling. Shall not be infringed. I like doing that. Then you see other people start commenting the same stuff. It's awesome. So anyway, our gun advertisements and FTC's crosshairs, critics say the cry of toxic messaging of firearm sales soar. So basically now what they're doing, because these gun people, the anti-gun people, I should say, that target guns, okay, you know, they don't want your own guns and everything else. So next they're going to be targeting the ads. They say, oh, you're not allowed to have a commercial, about guns or something like that. That's where they're targeting. So clarification, a prior version of the story mischaracterized with the 1960s riots, as Josh Sugarman, executive director of the Violence Policy Center, was referring to. He was speaking at protests after the assassination of JFK and Martin Luther King. All right, just get to the point, man. Which the point is, they want to stifle the commercials, basically. So Taurus Pistols promises to win the fight. With home intruders, Benel tactical shotguns are ready for defend Iraq, Afghanistan. Your living room, and you might consider buying a Wilson Combat's $2,500 Urban Super Sniper. Those are nice. I've seen those. Model rifle that precise is .223 caliber, which is like the same caliber the AR-15s use. Can hit within an inch of 100 yards, and the USA Today revealed thousands of gun company magazine advertisements spanning decades show a gradual market shift from guns as tools to hunting to guns as the necessities to protect your home and family. So, long story short, the anti-gunners are coming out to say, we got to stop the advertisements. That's what they're trying to do. Is like stifle all the advertisements that you can't advertise guns. The companies that you can't advertise guns, because we don't want people defending themselves. And here's the thing too: the best thing about this, and this goes right up the ATF's butt. This goes up the FBI's butt and all the anti-gunners' butt. Okay, the more they say, we're going to take your guns, the more people go out and buy. Especially the last couple of years, man, people, even Democrats, going out buying guns by the scores. And I encourage people, go out and buy a gun legally, by the way. Buy it legally. The more they say, we're going to ban this, you go buy 10 of them. You know what I mean? And if they say we're going to ban assault rifles, go buy 10 of them. We're going to do this, so you can't buy ammo. Go out and buy tons of ammo. And that's how you fight back, because they know, now they don't even know a real number right now of legal gun owners, because there's just so many. And, total gun owners in the country, it has to be about 100 million, they're estimating. They don't know for sure, but there's got to be about 100 million gun owners in this country. There's literally billions of guns out there, because the average gun owner, I think they said, owns about 3-4 guns. And I own a lot more than that, so I'm not going to say exactly how many I own, but yeah. And it's like a tattoo, you know what I mean? That's what some people say. You get a tattoo, you got to get another one, whatever the case. I'm not into tattoos. The money I spend on tattoos, I could go and get a nice gun. So think of that, you know what I mean? So instead of putting some stupid ink on your skin that's got to turn green anyway and fade away, and who's really going to see it? The only tattoo I got is this, you know what I mean? I got it years ago. It's for my wrestling gimmick, whatever the case. But look at it, it's already faded and everything. The money I spent on this, I could have dropped it on something. And the thing is with guns, man, they increase in value. You know what I mean? I got a Smith & Wesson 22 Victory. It's a nice little 22. It's all metal, you know what I mean? Smith & Wesson and all that. And I remember I bought it for $2 and change, brand new. Now the thing's worth about $400. You know what I mean? They increase in value over time. Most guns do anyway. And you take good care of them and everything else. You got to get a good penny. Of course, the gun stores, I only give you like $20. But you can sell guns private. But what you got to do is got to go through FFL, which people, if you got a gun and you want to sell it to somebody, do it the legal way. What you do is you bring the firearm to the gun store, your firearm, and say, hey, he bought my gun, I want to do a transfer. And they do the proper transfer paperwork, and I think they charge like a $40 fee or something like that. But yeah, you can sell guns like that, and through FFL, which is a federal firearms license dealer. So you know what I mean. And but people buying guns left and right, man, it's awesome. You know what I mean. And me and a couple of buddies of mine, we like to deal with guns. You know what I mean, buy each other's guns, and we do it legally, by the way. You know what I mean. And so I don't have nothing that's illegal. You know what I mean. Even bump stocks. I mean, I got an AR-15, but you know what I mean. I would never use a bump stock anyway because I don't like them. To me, semi-automatic is more proficient. I mean, if you have a gun just like that, what did you hit? You blew 30 rounds off in a couple seconds, right? What did you really do with it? I think semi-automatic is a lot more proficient because you could actually control the gun and the mechanism and everything else. I like to have the control of it, you know what I mean? Because automatic, you're spitting all the ammo for nothing. Even in the military, when you go through training, they talk about that, be conservative with your ammunition because you don't want to blow through all your magazines in one little battle, So be conservative with it. So I like semi-automatic anyway, so that's my opinion. But so anyway, they're going to be targeting gun sale advertisements, which ain't going to do nothing because they have a right to put out their own publication. So yeah, they could pounce in. That's what they're going to do, these anti-gunners. So the Guardian says absolute insanity. They call this insanity. A North Carolina sheriff wants to arm school officers with assault rifles. Yeah, gun reform advocates have decried absolute insanity. So, of course, these are retard anti-gunners. Yeah, the gun control groups. Oh, it's insanity, absolutely insanity that the sheriff wants to put armed people in the schools. Who the hell is gonna go into a school? You got a couple, 2, 3 cops that are working for the school, whatever the case, or guards with these rifles. Okay, who's gonna go in there and want to shoot it up? Who? Nobody. So Madison County Sheriff Buddy Howard says he felt obligated to act in hope of preventing another massacre such as a Rhode Elementary School in Rhode, Texas in May that killed 19 students and teachers. So he's basically saying having just a deputy armed with a handgun isn't enough to stop these animals. He's right. And my school resource officers will not have to wait to retreat and all that stuff. He says leave the situation to get weaponry to deal with the threat. So basically he's telling the sheriffs here that are assigned to schools, don't wait. Somebody's coming in that parking lot like the UVAD school where the school resource officer he had the chance to stop the whole thing. And why the front door was open, we don't know. He should have never gotten in the front door in the first place, but the school resource officer who was armed, he should have popped them right in the parking lot, the shooter, and it would have deflated the whole situation. He would have never gotten to school. So this sheriff's telling his deputies, no, don't wait for nothing. You see somebody coming into schools, you drop them right in the parking lot. Bottom line, don't even give him a second chance. And he said a handgun ain't going to be enough. If somebody's coming into school with a rifle, yeah, you're going to need a little bit more than a handgun. So that's what should be done. And the thing is, these same people, these same morons out there, oh, yeah, we can't do that. But you have no problem arming the banks. You have no problem arming the state offices. You have no problem arming the federal buildings, right? No problem at all. Oh, yeah, and the politicians. Oh, yeah, because we got to protect them. Well, what about the kids? Isn't the kids more important than all that? But you have no problem arming all these things, right? Even the people who hate guns, they have no problem arming all these things. But when it comes to schools, you've got a big problem with it? Are you out of your mind? Okay, this is absolute insanity? No, you're insane if you think this is a bad idea. Damn right there should be armed guards at the schools with those. Israel did it in 1974. They have armed military troops at the schools. 48 years, and how many school shootings there were in Israel, I'm sorry? Only 2 attempts, and both were stopped. Nobody got killed besides the criminal who tried to do it. So you want to model after other countries? How about Israel? Arm the schools, plain and simple. Enough of your bull crap. And have had, real, brave people been armed at the UVAD, Texas, Sandy Hook and all that, yeah, those kids would be alive today. Like I told those people in Sandy Hook, man, if Adam Lanza, he would have never gotten that school if they had armed guards there. Because he had to apparently shoot through a window, and I think there was another person with him doing it too, but regardless, he would have never gotten that school if they had an armed guard in there. Plain and simple, and that goes for any other school too. That's crazy, man. So this sends our news broadcast for today, guys, and we're going to get to some biblical studies. So what we'd like to do is finish the show with some biblical and spiritual warfare studies here. And I got a cool thing to talk about, too. So the body of Moses, we're going to get into it the last. We're going to read some biblical scripture for us. Then the body of Moses. So in Jude, the book of Jude, right, where it says Michael the archangel and Satan disputed over the body of Moses. Why would they do that? So I'm going to leave a question for you guys in the chat, in which I did put a question, would you buy an electric car? 90% people said no, 41 people voted, 90% said no, and 10% said yes. So thank you guys for that. And most people would not buy an electric car, and even in real life, out in the world, I should say, most people are still driving their gasoline cars. I'm not, I'm not going to buy an electric car. They could be good in the future if, you shouldn't have to charge them. They should have a recharging thing and everything else. But, yeah, but right now they're garbage. plain and simple. The pure garbage, especially living in the Northeast, man. We get some brutal winters, man. You know, those are gonna be death traps. If you ask me, if the battery goes in those, here's the thing too: cold kills batteries. So you got to be charging your car a little more than you should. Imagine that you're sitting there, your car's dying on the highway, and you're caught in the middle of a blizzard. Yeah, you're toast, plain and simple. Well, ice, I should say. So, so next question, guys, in the chat room for you guys. Wow, we're going over some biblical scripture. Guys, tell me what you think. Why the body of Moses was disputed between Satan and Michael the Archangel. So put that in your answers in the chat room. I got very keen about that to see what people think about that. We protect property more than children. Yeah. What's up, Yeshua? Yep. I'm just looking at the comments here. Make airships great again. I wish I had an airship. That'd be awesome. I love flying. So, guys, we go to the scriptures now, and trust the plan, only plan, and that's the Bible. And John 3:20 says, "For everyone who does evil hates the light and doesn't come to the light for fear that his deeds will be exposed." So, in other words, like they hide in the darkness and shadows, and that's what evil does, and they don't want their stuff exposed. But however, David Carrico was talking about that on the Midnight Light too, that we believe both of us though, that evil does have to tell you what they're gonna do. I'm not talking about the crooks out there who plot to kill, rob a bank or do something evil. I'm talking about the high, the principalities and all that. Somehow, some way, they have to tell you somehow what they're gonna do. Like the global elite, they'll brag about all day long though, right? Memoirs, go to conferences and brag about what they're gonna do, okay? And you talk about it, you're the conspiracy theorist. And when they do it, you know what I mean? And people say, where does this come from? Well, because they told you they're gonna do it. Like the predictive programming on TV, you know what I mean? They tell you right out what they're gonna do, and people are like, oh, it's such an awesome commercial or halftime show, and they're literally telling you what they're gonna do to you, plain and simple. And Luke 12:2 says, "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known." So I stole this slide from the Midnight Ride from the other night. So again, guys, in the chat room, let me know what you think. Why Satan and Michael the Archangel fought over the body of Moses. So this is right here. It's like evil. They have to tell you what they're going to do. For there's nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. So in other words, anything of the sinister stuff is going to be revealed somehow, some way. You know what I mean? It's either they have to tell you, or it's somehow there's some kind of universal law from God that they have to somehow let you know what they're going to do. And they do that all the time anyway. Like I said, the predictive programming and everything else. And no idea, Dan. Satanic is 45 minutes for me. So you don't, I'm going to get to that in a minute here. So about Satan and the body of Moses. So there's nothing covered. So basically all truth will be revealed. That's what the short verse of this is. All truth will be revealed, plain and simple. And all darkness is going to be brought into the light. And Ephesians 5:11 says, "Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them." In other words, know the deeds of evil and expose them. That's the heart of spiritual warfare, Ephesians 5:11. So, and it's your job out there, because the thing is, these lazy people in churches today called Christians, right? Oh, no, don't say nothing, don't do nothing, sit back and with your thumb up your butts. It's literally what they do, you know what I mean? And when you talk about the stuff, like, I don't know how many times in churches I got shot down. Oh, no, don't worry about that then. No, don't worry about that. We're not going to be here for that. The dispensationalist crap. No, we do got to, not for us, but worry about for other people. Expose the deeds of evil. That's what we're supposed to do as watchmen. Plain and simple. Not sit back in the pews all day and, expose the deeds of evil. That's what we're supposed to do. So, again, a question here is the body of Moses. So, anyway, before we get to that, the people that walked in darkness have seen a great light, that they dwelt in the land of the shadow of death. Upon them that hate the light shined. So it's Isaiah 9 too. So basically, people who walk in darkness, they hate being exposed, with the light onto them. So they like to do things like sneak around in the shadows and do things, and they don't like the light shined on them. You know what I mean? And they fear the light. And the thing is, like the Bible also says, the darkness comprehends the light not. So the darkness can't comprehend the light. It just it can't fathom what that light is. You know what I mean? All it knows is darkness. So when it sees light, they can't comprehend it. And let's talk about evil. You know what I mean? Evil can't comprehend good. And I know in Eastern religions and today people teach the karma crap that it's called equality, duality. There's balance in the universe. They teach us crap in martial arts. So there's balance in the universe and the yin and the yang, and it's all equal, just as good as dark and light and darkness is equal, and evil and good is equal. It's got to be balanced. No, it's not the case. This is evil right here, and this is good. You know what I mean? So it's no such thing as universal balance. So, and I was asking people about Michael the Archangel and Satan contending over the body of Moses. So let me see what people, maybe Satan wanted Moses' dead physical body so he would not be resurrected when Master Yahweh returns. Moses was not taken up. So that's off-grid victory saying this. So let me read the rest for us, yeah. So it's Jude 1:9 says, yet Michael and the Archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring in against him a rallying accusation, but said, the Lord rebuked thee. So the question is, why would the devil, which is saying, why would he want the body of Moses? So off-grid victory says maybe the Satan wanted Moses' dead physical body so he would not be resurrected when Master Yahweh returns, as Moses was not taken up. And let me see if there's any other answers. And Michael said not today, and that's Victorious. I know Scotty says, I have no idea, Dan. Good answer. That's just plain and simple. I have no idea. At least you're honest about it, man. And the Satanic Temple is 45 minutes from you. You should go by there and take video and just laugh at them. It'd be funny. Let's see. Anybody else responding to that? Let me see. Amazing. Visual disturbance is great. Kind of like your idea. Moses wouldn't be busy. Oh yeah, Joy Trillo. So because I talked about this before on one of my videos. When I covered the book of Jude, I did a whole video on it. There's only one chapter in the book of Jude, but I did a whole video on the book of Jude. And Joy Trillo, yeah, you must have watched it because that's when I talked about it. She says, Dan, I kind of like your idea, so Moses wouldn't be possessed. So, yeah, so this is so I'm going to read it one more time, and I'm going to give my idea of what happened here. So, yeah, Michael the Archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him in rallying accusation, but said, the Lord rebuked thee. So, question is, why would the devil, Satan, want the body of Moses? So, this is my idea, okay? And I mean, I can't back this up with scripture or anything like that, but this is my opinion, okay? And I think it's a valid one because it only makes sense. Why would else would Satan want a body? You know, what would he do with a body? You know what I mean? So here's the thing too. If you really think about it, right? Moses, right? Besides Jesus, one of the most profound person in the Bible. You know what I mean? By far. You know what I mean? He was a prophet that led the Jews out of captivity and everything else, and Moses was looked up to by many for years after he was dead. Now, here's why I really believe that Satan wanted his body, and this makes sense, right? So Moses being a big prophet of God, right? So now he even prophesies the coming of Jesus. He said when, where, and everything else, and how. You know what I mean? Where and how, of his coming. You know what I mean? So this is what I think Satan wanted that body for. Because Satan would have took that dead body and possessed it. Now, mind you, Moses is already dead. He's in the grave, okay? And his spirit. And so he would have possessed the body, the carcass of Moses. This is what I think. And like the Antichrist, he's the seed of the serpent. It's Satan possessing a human being on the earth, or the Antichrist in the future. But which I think he's here now. But Moses, right? I think he would have took the body of Moses, right? him or a demon, something, possess that body to animate it as if it's alive, like a zombie, okay? It's not Moses anymore, but it's like a shell. So basically, if he would have came out alive, okay, yeah, imagine that right now, right? Moses died, whatever the case, right? And imagine him coming alive to claim to be the Messiah. He resurrected from the dead. I am the Messiah, the chosen one. That was prophesied, right? You know how many people that would have misled? That would have disrupted a lot of things that God had planned. And I really think, I believe that Satan wanted his body for, to use his body to distort the beliefs of the Jews and distort the whole beliefs of the coming of the Messiah in the future. And God knows what he would have done. You can imagine that him possessing the body of Moses, say, I'm the Messiah, I'm the return, and all that stuff, and just misdirect the whole entire movement into a false view. That's what I believe, man, and that's exactly what I think Satan would have done. Because why else would he want the body? It makes no sense. It's just a carcass, it's a shell. Why would he want it? You know what I mean? And again, I believe that he would have reanimated, like possessed it or something, to say, because everybody believed Moses, so he would have came back and said, I am Moses, I've been resurrected, God's chosen me to be the Messiah, and wow, he would have misled so many people. It would have shifted the entire course of the whole movement. It would have shifted it. You know what I mean? And we don't know the ramifications of what happened after that, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what would have happened. So, that's what I truly believe. You know what I mean? So, kind of like the chosen one with super satanic energy, Dan. The hell, James Mack. That's a thing here. So I speak with tongues of men and angels. So guys, tell me if that makes sense. You and that to help you want to crack demon skulls, how to do it. So Dan, I need you and NYXTV help if you want to crack demon skulls. I know how to. I'm just tuning in. So I don't know what you're trying to ask me, James Mack. Dan, I need you and NYXTV's help. You want to crack demon skulls? I know how to. I'm just tuning in. So yeah, try to define that a little bit better. So yeah, man, that's what I really believe, that why he wanted the body of Moses, because it makes sense. He would have came back to life, whatever it looked like he came back to life, and everybody would have literally worshipped him. And at that point, some people were almost worshiping Moses, and so we had to set him straight. Look, I'm just a messenger, so I am. You know what I mean? Imagine him coming back to life, saying, listen, I'm the Messiah, I'm the return, and all that stuff, and God chose me to be the Messiah and all that. Wow, that would have been misdirected the entire ordeal altogether. Plain and simple. But yeah, of course, God had to put a stop to that. It's like, no, you're not getting the body, move on, Yes, sir, Danny, I'm ready to run for president. Yeah, the problem is, beat these devils at their own game. The only problem, guy, about running for president, man, you could get literally, James, I thought about running for president too, but here's the thing. If you're not a Democrat or Republican, they're not going to look at you. You know what I mean? You could have all the, 100 million votes, right? A record 100 million votes, right? And the electoral colleges not going to give you nothing. The electoral colleges are run by the senators and all that. Yeah, they're not going to give their votes to a non-Democrat or Republican. They have the whole game rigged right now. So you could literally have everybody voting for you, but the electoral colleges, they'll give you a couple of them and make it look good, but they're never going to give you enough votes for you to be president. That's the only bad part about the whole system. Unless they, go to popular vote, then that's a different story. Yeah, Desi Reynolds, a counterfeit Lazarus. So you're right. That's a good explanation about the body of Moses. It would be like a counterfeit Lazarus. It really would. Ahead time, of course. You know what I mean? Sam, do I want to talk to your face? I know how to beat him. Yeah, you know what I mean? Technically, brother, I'm not going to, good luck to you, man. But it's the thing is, you have to beat the electoral system. The electoral college has to give you the vote. That's where it counts the most. That's where the buck stops, plain and simple. And the way the whole system's set up, okay, to run as an independent is futile. It really is. Because you have to get the electoral college to vote for you. That's how you win the presidency. Unless it was by popular vote, then you got a chance. But electoral colleges are, I can't say on YouTube here, but yeah. But yeah, if you got a way to do it, I would love to hear it. But other than that, man, it's just like hear me talking. So expose them as a win. Yeah, expose them is right. But right now, the way it is, the way the system is, if you're not Democrat or Republican or established one, you're not getting in as president. They get the whole thing all geared up there. Yeah, all government should be regulated. I mean, mucky muck. So all government should be ended. Exactly. So, Tim says, guns in school with our children, guns for the IRS, guns for the FEMA, Homeland Security, Game 1, and everybody's got them. That's not my idea, Dan. It's a win. Yeah, but again, I know how the political systems work, James, and I've been around politics since I was a kid, unfortunately. I hate politics with a passion. I've worked all kinds of campaigns, from state rep to town councilman, governor, Congress, and Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian. I worked all these things, okay? I know how the system works. What's up, DJG? So, especially, so James Mack in the chat room, you got DJG. That's my buddy Dan. He very well knows how politics work. He ran for Congress himself. So he ran for Congress in Rhode Island. And so Dan, tell James Mack that if you run for president, right, if you're not an establishment Democrat or Republican, you're not winning. Plain and simple. Because the electoral colleges, if it was by popular vote, yes, you got a chance. But because of the electoral colleges, they are not going to give you their vote if you're not a Republican or a Democrat. Plain and simple. That's why libertarians don't get too far either, or independents, because, yeah, they got the whole thing all in their pocket. Plain and simple. I live in my truck for people of our country. Yeah, so my buddy DJ, he ran for Congress here in Rhode Island. He goes, absolutely, politics is rotten game, and that they suck you into. Exactly. And again, I've been around politics. I know how the sneaky things that both Republicans and Democrats do. I work all sides of the campaign and everything. And so the chance of winning is independent unless you were picked, okay? You got to be handpicked to win, all right? Plain and simple. Or come, with an establishment of the right or the left. Other than that, if you're an honest person, man, they are not going to let you win. And one more time, man, if you're not, the establishment, both sides has it all locked up. Exactly. Thank you, DJ. And DJ, again, DJG, my buddy Dan, he ran for Congress here in Rhode Island, okay, against David Cicilline, one of the most corrupt Democrats. He's the one who pushed that bill, HR 1808, to try to ban assault rifles and, assault rifles and high-capacity magazines. So, yeah, he went against the most corrupt congressman in the entire country. Literally, and the whole establishment's got it all locked up, plain and simple. It's a worldly system, and every system can't be beat by the kings. And I'm telling you how it works, James, man. The only way you're gonna beat that system if you could somehow convince the electoral college to vote for you. Other than that, you have no shot in hell. Like, that's the way it goes, man. I hate to tell you that, but I do wish you luck, and I would definitely vote for you if I could, but. If you ain't got ties, money, or some sort of connection, you ain't getting nowhere. Yeah, exactly. And then let's meet at the barn. No, I'll meet you, man, but I'm telling you, brother, that's the way it is. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, that's the way it is. You got to understand how the politics work. And, it's a system that you can't break, okay? It's set up for a certain reason that you can never break it. The only way you could do it is if you convince all the electoral colleges to vote for you. Other than that, you're not winning. Plain and simple, because their votes are the ones that count. Exactly. Lataris of truth, don't go, Jesus said, don't go to the right or the left and stay forward. And I brought a set of verses up like that, too, about staying that straight and narrow path and don't go sway to the right or left. And that's for politics, the occult, religion, whatever the case. Always walk that straight and narrow path. Because the left path is a direct path to hell. Politics still, And the right path seems to be legit, seems to be for your rights, seems to be, Christian or something. But it's a misleading path along the way to the same place where the left goes. Left is just straight up. Bink, The right path goes all the way around to make it look like it's nice. Then, bink, you fall right into the same pit. You know what I mean? That's the way it works. So I got time for comments here. You know what I mean? So I was good. I don't have my phone hooked up in here, so I am a royal. They can't deny me. Yeah, James, like, I'm not gonna argue, bro. Like, I wish you luck, honestly, but it doesn't matter who you want, to tell you the truth. You know what I mean? They can deny you. If you're not part of the system, you're not going anywhere. Trust me when I tell you. The thing has been set up from day one to be like that. If you ain't one of the establishment right or left, you ain't going anywhere. Okay, and plain and simple. And again, you could get every voter in the country to vote for you, but that doesn't matter because it's the electoral system that decides it. That's right, Bill Connell. Normal isn't coming back. Jesus is. So really blew my mind. Caught me off guard. A royal fool, wake up, Jim. Yeah, royal bloodlines don't mean nothing, brother. You know what I mean, plain and simple. It's just like the whole thing is all rigged. Oops, gotta watch what I say. Oops, bad boy. Speaking of that, guys, you guys try to subscribe to my new channel here because right now we're working on the nice with this channel. So let me get that channel for you. So hang on a second. So guys, if you got a chance here, here's my new channel, my secondary YouTube channel, because right now, like literally anytime if they hit me in another strike, man, this channel is done. I'm going to terminate it like they did the main channel. So subscribe to that channel, put in the chat room. Just take a second, pop over there quick, and just hit subscribe. It only takes a second. Click on the link, hit subscribe, bang. And the best way to find me is truthradioshow.com. And DJ says people need to understand the process of how things work, especially in their own states. So yeah, James, I would do that too. Like listen to DJ because he's very well in the know. Okay, especially he knows what's going on. Me and him are good friends. Me and DJ there, like we hang out and stuff, and very good friends. And yeah, he's on the same page as us. But you need to understand how the process works, man. And you might have your own plan, but the thing is, you're not gonna outsmart these people. You know what I mean? That's how it is. You know what I mean? It's like us trying to outsmart the Federal Reserve System and the World Bankers. You know what I mean? What you think of, they got thousands of years under the belt of financial stuff, you know? Same thing with the politics here. They got thousands of years of political systems under the belts, the elite. So you're not going to outsmart these people. You know what I mean? They got the whole thing all wired, plain and simple. Now, if it was, you know, I got to watch what I say, man, because of YouTube. Vote local and do not stray from the path as any good believer. This is a social environment. Yes, voting, thank you, Vataris, for truth. Voting local is the best way to do it. You know what I mean? And because here's the thing, too. We all could vote for just say Trump, right? And it's who they pick to be. You know what I mean? Your vote don't count for president. It doesn't. It's the electoral votes. Plain and simple. You know what I mean? And that's the way it goes. Look at Al Gore. Al Gore had the popular vote against Bush, right? Remember that? And they actually declared him president. But the Electoral College just swung something and with the whole thing with Florida and everything else. And yeah, Bush ended up winning again. So, you know what I mean? The popular vote don't matter, you know what I mean? And the presidential thing. But if you want to make a difference, it's your local elections. That you could legitimately win, you know what I mean? You could win state senator, state representative. Those are powerful seats. I mean, you get enough of you guys in the state representative senators, you guys can control what goes on in the state. You know what I mean? You can make bills to override federal laws that are unconstitutional, and especially a governor maybe in some states, depends on what the state is, how much power you have. And great, we need you, buddy, in the chat. And Dan, I see you soon. Yeah, we'll talk, man, but I'm telling you, man, I've been around the political system since I was a kid, man, and I know how this stuff works, man. And other than that, man, so yeah, that's how it works. And so you need to just pray, plain and simple. You know what I mean? And running for president, man, you got to have some good money too, because you got to have commercials out there and all that. But now, if you're running for state senator, state representative, you know what I mean, that does it very effectively too. Like I said, if you ran for a mayor or a town or city council, something like that. All right, when a governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general has a lot of power. You know what I mean? Attorney general says, and the governor, lieutenant governor in the state of Rhode Island is useless. It really is. It's like a position you just sit there waiting in the wings. That's it. In case something happens to the governor, you just sit there and collect the paycheck, and you don't barely do anything. You know what I mean? That's why we need relevant people. The thing is, I think the lieutenant governor should be able to hold the governor accountable. If the governor's out of control, the lieutenant governor should be able to step in and say, no, okay, I'm going to challenge you for that position. You know what I mean? That's the way I think it should be. And if I decide to run for lieutenant governor, I would bring relevancy back to the lieutenant governor position. My buddy is running, Paul Pence. He's running for lieutenant governor here in Rhode Island. And he would bring relevancy back too. And I mean, so again, it depends on the state. You know what I mean? Again, the lieutenant governor mostly is like literally the patsy for the governor. It's like if the governor can't make it to a football game or something, they'll send a lieutenant governor in that place. You know what I mean? And really, you can't do nothing as a lieutenant governor. You have no political powers at all. You can't vote on bills. You can't push your own bill, whatever the case. You're just sitting there and waiting in the balance. That's it. Well, that's how Rhode Island works anyway. Yeah, but you're not getting it, James. And I'm not. You know, it's just so hard to explain without getting in trouble on YouTube here. You got to combat the electoral college. If you can't penetrate the electoral college, you don't have a chance in hell. Plain and simple. They got the system set up so they have their right wing and left wing puppet in there. That's it. You know what I mean? And that's the way it goes. It's the way it's been going. And the only way it's going to stop if we, the people, like duly overelect and overthrow this country and restart it again. You know what I mean? That's the only way that's ever going to happen. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. That's the way it works. Mercy on us. Shalom. All right, guys. So just want to check the comments here. But thank you guys for the comments and everything else. And yeah, to penetrate the system, man, you need a miracle. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. And so, all right, guys, we'll see you Wednesday on Rumble. We're going to have an interview with my friend Josh Mello. He was the one attacked at a abortion rally and all that. And we brought this up a couple of times already. He's going to be joining us for a little while on the show Wednesday. And we're going to get into some stuff that we can talk about on YouTube here. So, you know, the monkey stuff and the Kofi stuff and all that stuff and Fauci retiring. We're going to talk all about that Wednesday. Stuff we can't mention here without getting canned off the network. So anyway, guys, thank you all for joining us. And what's up, Bob? What's going on, man? And Brother Dan, I told you about phone. I also know getting punched by the devil's kids. I encourage you, Dan, seek ye first the kingdom and all its righteousness. Yeah, I know, brother. I mean, like, you know what I mean? This is not my first walk around the block, man. I know all about this stuff, man. And I've been doing this for many years, all right? No disrespect toward you, man. It's just like, I know how the system works, okay? And it's designed that way, plain and simple. And so have a good weekend, guys. A good weekend. I wish it was a weekend. I'm tired. But yeah, have a good day, guys. And if you want to help support the broadcast, we got a PayPal, Venmo, and a CashApp. Links are in the description, and 3 different ways to support this operation and our ministry. And those of you who've been dropping some money, thank you so much for that. And the best thing you do besides that is, number one, actually, is to pray for us. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. And check out the shows on NIUC TV, guys, and all the listings there. And yeah, awesome stuff, man, over at NIUC TV. Good stuff, man. And I also get your free subscription by them as well. NYSTV.org. Dan the Man is a promo code. And the first 30 days are on me. So that being said, guys, we'll see you Wednesday. And we're going to be on Rumble channel. And to save the confusion, guys, we will post the link on our TruthRadioShow.com website. So if you go to TruthRadioShow.com daily, we're going to have the links posted as soon as possible. They're available. We post them right up on the website this way, because we got 3 different channels going on right now. So 2 YouTube channels, a Rumble channel. To save all the confusion, just remember to go to the website, Or unless you subscribe to the channels and you get the updates. And sometimes they don't even give you the updates because I'm shadow banned. So just go to truthradioshow.com. That's all you have to do. And when you see the show, all you do is click on it and it goes. You can actually watch it on the website too. Just click play, or you could go right to the website and take part of the chats and everything else. So, but we'll see you Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. we're going to be doing a brand new show. It's me, John Hall, and Brian Reese. It's called Rip It Wednesday. It's a show for 2 hours. It's 7 to 9, man. We just sit there. We have guests on. We just sit there and just have a blast. You know what I mean? Just whatever comes to our mind, talk about it, laugh about it, bust each other up. It's a fun show. Then right after that 9 p.m. is me on Rumble on the Nightly News. So, love you all. God bless. Shalom, and you are the resistance. Declaring war on the New World Order. TruthRadioShow.com. It is fire. Defending liberty in the spirit of 1776. It's Dan Bidondi on TruthRadioShow.com. Thank you for supporting TruthRadioShow.com in our continuous fight against the New World Order. If you want to donate and help contribute toward our daily news show and our spiritual warfare ministries, contribute any amount to the following links in the description. That's our PayPal, our Venmo, or our CashApp. Or just simply take out your camera and scan the code bars on the screen. And we thank you once again for help supporting the fight against the New World Order. And remember, you are the resistance. God bless.